trail anymore because it's gonna like be out. Like it probably won't be like repopulated as leveling content once we get a new field op.
Sure.
So I was like doing everything there I hadn't done, you know, the rest of the field notes and shit, but I would go instance to instance, like 3 whole hours, every duel going to me because people either like decline them or fail them, and people were starting to get pissed. Like at first they were like, oh cool, Randy Savage here to give us the buff. And before long they turned on me. I got Spider-Man'd. They came to hate me for doing the duels.
Spider-Man.
God damn it, Tim, get it.
A feeble shield protects nothing.
Why? Because they wanted those, or?
No, nobody else was queuing for them. It's just they did not like that I was doing them all the time. They thought I was stealing them from some imaginary people. They just love to hate.
Obviously players are not happy unless there is a personification of evil that they have created.
Yeah, they made me their icon of sin.
14 players in the thing or two about sin, that's for sure.
I don't think I ever had that experience when I was doing the duels. Especially when I was just grinding them all for the metal.
Oh, this was recent, and like they're kind of dead. Well, there were a lot of people there actually, because people doing like last minute leveling, but nobody there was for the duels, you know? There were people just leveling and bearing witness to my like undefeated duel streak. Except for Daybog, fuck that guy, I can't do him on my ping. I like literally can't do that boss on my ping.
That one is probably... I hate that guy. I felt that knockbacks were just like really sporadic in how they reacted to like even slight variance in ping.
It is a ping.
Wait, which one?
Like Daybog,
No, Daybog,
C1
the
guy.
Zone 1 in Zadnor. The guy with the swole guy with the scythe hands.
Oh, that guy.
I literally can't do the puddles with 80 ping. I mean, I like can, but it's like 10% chance to succeed.
Hmm.
I don't know with that guy.
No kidding.
Oh, this man is high.
I don't think I had any trouble with that guy.
I mean, Daybog is probably the easiest one mechanically, it's just I can't place the puddles on my ping.
Yeah.
Because puddles drop like so fucking weird in this game.
Yes.
Like I can't place them tightly enough without getting hooked by them.
Best example of what Randy's running into is watching Cider Spider on his ping try doing Daybog. Just saying, exact problem.
I mean, my ping's not even that bad. It's like 100-ish, but like, holy fuck, it was so miserable. Maybe I'm just shit, I don't know. Yo, what up, Truth? Had to readjust, I gotta repaint.
Sink into silence.
One one I thought was the light curtain guy in the second zone of
Benanias.
I think
the one has a shit ton of HP.
I
But that's
definitely.
just because I forgot to bring my light curtain.
He definitely has too much HP, but like, that one's so funny because you can get hit by like every mine and still beat the fight. It's weird.
That was like the challenge mode that I saw people doing. Just getting hit by every mine.
I stopped even paying attention to where they were because you can get hit by 3 mines and still beat them before the enrage.
Darkness be gone.
No. never played Gartic Phone. I hear it's big fun. Never played like any of the party games. We're kind of memeing today. The start of the raid was kind of cringe. I was kind of like stressed out at people. And I wasn't even stressed because they were being like trolly. Like, I don't really mind that too much. Well, within reason. But people were being like super pedantic about like some of the things, like the strategies, and I'm just like, oh my god, you know what we're talking about, and stop being annoying.
Still you resist. Then we shall unleash
Like, if
the
everybody's
light
memeing,
within.
no big deal. It's whatever.
No, I won't let you.
But this is like, we were being bad, and then just one guy being like super pedantic about like the strategy we're doing. It's just like, brother, I know you know what I'm talking about. Back when I worked, I always wanted to like incorporate like some of those like party type games into like team building stuff. But I was always afraid to, for fear that somebody would be like, this sucks.
My power surges.
Like, I really wanted to like bring Secret Hitler and like games like that into like our team building type stuff, but I was afraid somebody would be like, report like, our manager has us playing a game called Secret Hitler, and I'm not comfortable with that. And I'm just like, oh god.
The bug. The telegraph that just doubled
Thanks
it.
to you, Gaia.
They
really just doubled
Yeah, they just doubled the cones. They fixed
I was
it.
wondering.
Or Town of Salem, something like that.
Just put two on top.
We played like the
Yeah,
surface
that's
level
exactly
ones.
what they did to fix it.
Servant of
I
Zodiac.
forget what the IO ones that were popular back then are.
I shall restore the power of darkness to the star.
If it works, it works, alright.
Present.
What if we just
Future.
double it?
I'm still traumatized by it. Every time I think a cone's taking too long to go out, I like squint really hard and I'm like, wait, do I just not see it? East.
Sorry.
Holy. I get to write Tin's name down. I'm stoked about that.
Hey man, I thought I could stick us. Thought I could slide cast over there.
Rare Excel sheet entry, let's go.
Now you're keeping track.
Who knows?
A feeble shield protects nothing.
Uh-oh.
Come, show me your strength.
blue, right? Okay, everybody else is on blue. I don't know, none of the people I ever worked with were like gamer people. I like have to like teach them how to play games and shit. It's just like, I'm going to be seen as the cringe video game guy if I do this, so I never bothered. I think that shit's like super important for most guilds though. I don't know, I very strongly believe in like the value of playing other games outside of WoW when you're in a WoW guild, if you care about the guild. I don't know how we made that. The last number I saw was 149. It's the LB hit.
Your blood shall freeze. Cleave.
It's like a little cringe to like think about it that way, but like guilds definitely have a lot in common with like workplaces, and I think you need to build a relationship with people you work with.
The light shall usher in peace.
You're just people who like show up and raid together once in a while, and I think you like
Sink into silence.
cultivate a good atmosphere over a long period of time. And like maybe you don't care about that, right? Like not you, but like in general, maybe somebody doesn't really care about that, but if you want your guild to like not be a revolving door of people just in it kind of for themselves, I think it's kind of necessary.
Reap. Darkness be gone. Light consume you.
You know, for a while I thought MMOs were gonna like die out at some point, because I thought the model was kind of silly, like have a sub-based game and you know you've got like all these people that you have to like maintain attendance for to do whatever they're supposed to be doing in the game. Did we do the tower correctly? But the more I think about it, the more I think like MMOs is like a social structure, like club activity, like at least for people like relatively near that generation. They're probably just gonna live forever, man. They're gonna be like the retirement home of gamers. It's like people have their fucking like how old people have their clubs and activities they do. I think MMOs are gonna go forever as club activities for millennials. I don't know how much young people like MMOs. Do they? Not like young people, because like kids shouldn't really be in MMOs, right? But like, I wonder if like people who are getting into communities and like online spaces for the first time, if they have like any interest in MMOs, or if that's like just totally like an old person thing now.
My power surges! Green, are you alright?
I mean, they definitely like get into League, but if I was a kid too, I would also be into those things, right? I didn't get into MMOs until I was like 20, like 8 like 19, 20, really.
I am Logrith,
And I know
Zodiac.
younger people played them, but like, I don't think they were like playing MMOs. I don't think they were like into MMOs in the same way I think I'm talking about. Where like, you're actively like partaking in the community
Condensed into a single moment.
and looking for a community. South, it's on first tower. It's been a fucking minute since I've had a fire 30, holy shit.
Succumb to the darkness. Oh, ruination! Oh, chaotic dark! Descend and quench light!
PB to the left.
The fuck?
Did we do that?
Yeah, we did. We finally did. I was wondering when that was going to happen, actually.
Ouch.
I thought I waited for
Shadows
the Casper
fall!
and maybe not.
No, because I've been moving in before it ended, and I noticed you wait, and I was like, well, if he ever does what I do, we're going to overlap.
I did adjust for your Spirit Taker direction there, but thank you for stepping a little bit further out before you were going to do it.
Bro, that's some stupid shit.
So what, was it a failed float?
So, no,
He
no.
overlapped, and I did not move in until the Casper ended.
Really?
Oh, you got Spirit Taker?
No.
No, they overlapped the Dark Eruption.
The Dark Eruption.
Oh.
Eh. Really? Yeah, okay.
I'm surprised. I actually did not
There's a
know that
clip.
could happen. That's the
There you
first time I've seen that.
This look. Also, why is it? Why can't I just make the clips up? That's stupid. But
Yeah, like on in all the
That clip doesn't load for me.
Oh, that's weird.
PF I've done
See
of
if it as
this.
create, so I'm not sure.
There's no way you guys overlap.
Yeah.
You don't move until after the cast bar. I guess on your screen maybe it's a
work?
little early.
Most
Or-
likely, yes. Yeah.
On my screen, it looks like they don't move until.
Yeah, that. Yeah,
Alright,
that's-
look. I do not even click W until the cast bar ends, and we died.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That is insane. All right, well, apparently that can happen.
Yeah.
Funky snapshot.
It's just
for sure.
slightly too early for the way it
I-
snapshots.
Yeah, that. I'll be honest with
Bullshit.
you. I'll
I'm
be honest
calling
with you.
bullshit, man.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever seen that. In like all the pulls I've done in PF, I've never seen that happen.
That,
I
I'm
mean,
calling
This
bullshit.
I don't know where the melee is supposed to stand, so I don't know how if Ponder's further forward than he's supposed to be, but based on Ponder's POV, it has to be Larry's moving in, right? And like what we're just seeing is the classic like Final Fantasy delay where everything else
Yeah.
you see is people a quarter
move
second
in,
behind.
I move in before the cast bar. I've always moved in. I did the same movement.
It's just a rat's dick of your like AoE hit him. Like
Flandra's getting. I mean, we're both getting really comfy on the mechanic, right? So we're both like anticipating the move in, and I knew that
I
if
wait for the cast bar. I always
you?
do.
Okay,
Always wait.
I
I've been
always
recurring.
go off the second explosion. I'll wait for the cast bar. Moving forward, I'll wait for the cast bar. Not an issue.
Yeah, I think if you see the cast bar end and you press W, this should never happen. But yeah,
Yep.
that's really weird.
Yeah, it must have been some funky thing.
Okay.
hmm.
We're doing normal time tomorrow, correct?
There's no raid tomorrow.
No raid?
Unless Lost Streams is mine.
Oh,
No, family Christmas.
okay.
Are you having an early Christmas?
It's just a bunch of different family.
I mean, I was doing an airport run earlier. That's why I was late. And I wasn't sure what time.
So, I believe we're not raiding Tuesday. 'Cause that's the 24th. Question is someone going to be out Wednesday the 25th? Please?
I would assume
I'm
yes.
willing to guess. I'm willing to guess.
Me, I don't know. I would probably be here that night.
I would just put the dates up
Same.
for next week, Ponder, and just have a yes or no.
Honestly, I would probably.
All it takes is one person saying they can't come on Wednesday. Like, does anyone know for sure they can't show up on Wednesday?
What's happening?
I'm gonna be home.
Worst case, I would be a late start for me, but I would like to raid Wednesday if we can.
Yeah, by
think
8 o'clock
I'll
I'll
be
be
able
home.
to, because
Alright,
yeah,
then,
Christmas is a morning ordeal. for the
Right.
most part.
It's
so Wednesday, if you're gonna be late or no show, as soon as you know, please type in chat.
Alright.
So we assume some form of raid on Wednesday. And Thursday should be good, normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it.
I don't know,
Alright.
like, because
Good night.
my parents were very, like, anti-games when I was growing up. Like, I had a Super Nintendo that was gifted
That
to
much
me.
break between. We'll probably have to refresh themselves somehow before
I mean,
Wednesday.
I don't.
One day.
The ninth
One day.
was.
Isn't it
Trash?
4 days? Tuesday out?
I don't know why people are playing softly. Like outside of Lube's DC issues and Randy lagging at one point, like it was a very sloppy night.
Yep.
I don't think a one
I started out
no
a little
raid
sloppy. I had
is
two
enough.
really early bad mistakes.
I don't know. If you need to do PF to keep fresh, do PF, I guess.
No, it was nothing keeping fresh. I just hadn't really played FF any today yet. I should have done some sort of warm up before raid with it being shortened by a late start.
Doing whatever you need to do.
I knew the mechanics. I was just being slow as hell the first 30 minutes or so.
What was I saying? So, I got a Super Nintendo from my aunt, and it was her old Super Nintendo. She gave it to me, and the only game I had was Super Mario World, and I played the fuck out of it, and I never even beat it. I got to like Butter Bridge, and I couldn't ever beat Butter Bridge as a kid.
I feel very well studied right now.
No, it wasn't Butter Bridge. I think I did beat Butter Bridge, but I got to the castle with the Triceratops, like on the wheel, and I don't think I could ever beat that. And it like kind of scared me as like a 4-year-old. And I was like, oh, did anybody like play games as a kid and you get like so just like skill gapped because you're a kid that like it builds up a fear of that level or that boss or whatever? Like I remember distinctly having like anxiety about like doing certain levels because I failed them so many times that it was like, oh god, this. I'd have to like work up my courage just to like dare to run the level again. I had Super Nintendo, or I had Super Mario World, I had the Star Wars A New Hope game, and that game is legitimately hard. I got my ass beat by that game as a kid, and then when I was like 20-something, I went and got like an emulated version of it for PC, and I was like, I'm gonna beat this game, because I never could as a kid. And playing as an adult, I was like, what the fuck, this game is still hard. So that one was like, actually like, it wasn't that I was a kid with like bad, you know, like kid levels of hand-eye coordination, it was that that game was just fucking hard. And looking back now, I cannot believe that I got to the Sand People level as like a 5-year-old. Like, that was like actually legitimately impressive to have beaten the Sandcrawler level. Because holy fuck. Like, I was doing it as an adult, and I was like using save states and shit, and I was like, brother, this is fucking, this is the real deal, man. One of those old school games where they're made to be like hard as fuck, so you rent it again. And I had some other like shitty games, like, or I had like a Ren and Stimpy game. Well, I had Donkey Kong Country. You know, I got to the end of Donkey Kong Country as like a 6-year-old, which I think is, it's pretty good. But I could never beat King K. Rool. And even though you had unlimited attempts, like there were no lives in Donkey Kong, you just tried again. Even with unlimited attempts, like, fighting K. Rool was so stressful for me as a kid that I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna play today, I'm gonna beat him today. And like, dude, when those cannonballs came out, fucking, it was all over. Couldn't handle it. The nerves got to me back then. Dude, when the fucking, the song starts up, ooh, shit still gives me like chills, kind of. I'm just like, the trauma. So I played like, that was my first exposure to video games. But my parents, like, those were the only games I had. And I had that for years. And my parents like refused to ever buy me games or rent games or anything. And it always like really annoyed me. And then I got a original, well, it wasn't original, I got a Game Boy Pocket when I was probably like 7, maybe 8. It was either Christmas when I was 7 or 8, and I got Pokemon Red with it. And that was like the beginning of the end, because my parents are like, they wouldn't support me like gaming, and they wouldn't get me games as gifts, but they did give me the Game Boy for some reason. I like really asked her, and I think they knew that Pokemon was like too popular to not let your kid have Pokemon. Like, they'd be kind of like outcast. Like, I was in 2nd grade when Pokemon really hit its like its peak in North America, and That was like, I was locked in. Holy fuck, big Pokemon fan. I remember being trapped in my, the house you start in for like, probably like 2 hours when I first loaded it up, because it didn't occur to me that the rug that they put on the tile set when you're in a house, like, indicated that that's where the door was. Just such like a funny QA moment to me as a kid, where like I would have loved for somebody to see me just like trapped in the house because I don't know how to get out, because I don't have like the context of understanding that the rug means that's where the door is and you just need to walk against it. I figured it out eventually. And my parents really didn't like how much time I spent on the Game Boy. And Pokemon was like probably the worst game to have as a kid if your parents don't like you playing games, because it was so restrictive on when you could save. And like, my parents did the thing where they're like, hey, get over here, put the game down. And I'd have to do that. Okay, can I just save the game? And they're like, no, I don't care, just turn it off, come over here. And I'm like, brother, I cannot save the game. I have not saved for like a very long time. And you can't save when you're in battle, and when you are saving, it takes like, like 15 whole seconds, which isn't a lot of time, but like when your parents are waiting for you and they're like being kind of like impatient with you, it feels like a really long time. So I would get grounded from the Game Boy all the time, and what they do is they told me I wasn't allowed to play it for a week, and they would take it and put the Game Boy up on like the mantle of the fireplace. And like, so it was like always in sight. It wasn't like they were hiding it from me. It was just like, you put it up here, and it's like this like, you better not touch it kind of thing, where it's just like the temptation was like always there to like play it when they weren't home. But like a week would go by and they wouldn't like ever remember to give it back on their own. Like I always had to like go to them like hat in hand and be like, please sir, may I have the Game Boy back? Like, it was so fucking, it was like a weirdly degrading experience. And then like sometimes they'd be like, ugh, why can't you just not play the game? You know, I think you need another week off if you're counting down the minutes to the end of your being banned from it. So like, that's how that shit always went for me, and it was so fucking annoying. And but they didn't buy me many games. They never bought me games, but they did buy me consoles. I had to buy all the games myself. Which as a kid, it's like hard to get money as a kid, but I always like was managing to like save up for them. And then I got an N64 when I was in 4th grade? Yeah, it had to have been Christmas when I was in 4th grade. And by then, N64 was pretty old. This was... When did N64 come out? 96? Oh yeah. This was like in 4th grade. How old are kids in 4th grade? If you're... It's age plus 6, right? So this would have been in 2000. This was Christmas of 2000. So it was 4.5 years after N64 launched, and like GameCube was like right around the corner. Yeah, I got N64 like 1 year before GameCube came out, and my parents were like, well, aren't you lucky? And it sucked because, but like I was always over at other kids' houses because they had PlayStations and N64s and Segas, and they just had way more games than me. So like, I enjoyed that I had some of the consoles and like some of the games, but like, they thought they were like limiting my exposure to games and that I like wouldn't be as interested in them. But at least for me, all it did was made me crave them more. And I'm not saying that if I had like unlimited games, it would have burnt me out on them. I think I'm just like a person who craves games and entertainment. So I think whatever they done would have like resulted in the same. like end behavior, but with that in mind, it was like weird that they like so punished me and restricted me from it when it was obviously something I enjoyed, you know? Like I don't think I'd be able to tell my kids, if I had kids, to like, no, you can't do this thing you like doing. I would want to like engage in the hobby with them, you know? Like that's how I would approach it. If it's becoming problematic, then sure, but I don't think I was ever problematic about it. But then once I had the N64, I was like getting old enough that I like was doing jobs and shit. Like I'd like get paid for little like weird things around the neighborhood. And, like I'd save up lunch money instead of eating lunch. And so once I had the ability to like earn my own money, I like bought all the consoles for myself. All the ones that I wanted. I didn't have PS2 though. I wish I did. Well, Xbox kind of clapped PS2, didn't it? PS2 had some really important games for me, but all my friends had PS2, so I just played that shit at their house. Xbox was kind of stacked though. And then Xbox fucked up. Like, it was like close when 360 and PS3 were competing. Like it was like it could really go either way. There were some pretty good titles on both, but then Xbox like fucking gave up on the next one. Was it Xbox One or whatever? But I could never trade in a console. I still got my N64 around here somewhere. I think one of my roommates stole my Xbox 360, and I never noticed until I moved out my college apartment. I don't know. But then, like, they couldn't stop me from getting games once I was, like, a teen, because I used my own money on it. And they kind of stopped, like, they would still, like, ground me from it once in a while, but I kind of, like, chilled out with that, too. But what we never had when I was growing up was a PC that could play games. And I like slowly kept moving towards like groups of people and friends who like were more PC inclined gamers. And like it sucked that we didn't have high-speed internet, which is so fucking funny thinking about it. Like I graduated high school in 2009, and I had never once in my life had high-speed internet at my house. And that's so ridiculous thinking back. I mean, I'm not even talking about broadband. We had dial-up internet the entire time I was in grade school. And so I couldn't play any of the MMOs, I couldn't download any of the games. Our computer was like, it was like a really good computer when my dad got it, but that was in the 90s, and like, they were like, oh, they treated computers like TVs, where they, you know, we had that computer for like a decade plus, and you couldn't play any games on it because it would take like, have you ever played a game on a computer where it's like way below the min specs, and it takes like 10 minutes to load every area? You're like on the loading screen for 10 minutes. That was the kind of computer we had. And I remember like I got the Harry Potter games, like those old ones for PC once, and like I played through the whole first Harry Potter game, waiting like a half hour for each like area to load. It was so fucking bad, and it was just never had a PC. So when I went away to school and I bought like a gaming laptop for myself, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna play all of the PC games. I'm gonna play World of Warcraft. I'm gonna fucking game. And I did. And like, I think letting your kid not get exposed to the world of like MMOs and online gaming until they're in college, where they have like unlimited ability to manage their own time and fuck their life up by mismanaging their time, is like a horrible parenting mistake. You gotta get that shit out of the way early while they're like under your supervision, you know? It was a huge gaffe like shielding me from that, like thinking I would just forget about it. It was so naive of them. It was definitely like I was budgeting my MMO and WoW time against like my study time, like all the time. I was always like, what's the least amount of studying I can do while still playing all the games I want? I don't think it worked out for them, but life's pretty cool now, so I guess it worked out. Oops, I didn't change my category. Doesn't care. Who cares? I'm only hanging out with the boys. The people who know the stream anyway. When I have Comcast at my house, well, my house still has Comcast, or will have Comcast because it's the only ISP in the area, but my condo here has like a fiber like community, like we're in like a gated community that has like its own like fiber network, and it's fine, but it's like a small ISP and they kind of suck. Like it just randomly goes out every once in a while. But in my house, the only ISP we have is Comcast. And I had like a 1 terabyte memory limit per month, and I had to pay, I think, $30 a month to get unlimited data on top of my like $270 standard package bill. It was absolutely criminal how much they're charging me. And like, I know you're supposed to do the thing where you like negotiate with them over like the prices and shit, but kind of can't be fucked. But if I ever fix the house up and get back in it, I'm gonna like have to deal with Comcast again. And I think that shit was annoying. I'm like fucking $4,000 on internet a year. So stupid. Actual predatory company. Well, I guess raid's over, huh? Kind of meme day today. I'm a little worried. So we don't raid tomorrow and we don't raid till Wednesday? I mean, I don't know why people think that's like a big fucking deal. Oh, I hope I don't forget. It's like, so just don't forget. Easy. I'm gonna be done for now though. If we don't raid tomorrow, I'll probably play PoE tomorrow. But I want to eat and take a nap. I woke up early. So I'm done for now. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chatting with me, chatters, about food and video games.